Okay, so what I want to do now is underneath here, I want to write like the area. I'm going to put the area of this polygon here. And I'm not going to actually tell you what the area is. I'm going to ask you to look that up for your project, or for not. I keep saying project. I just mean the homework, which is basically going to just be to finish what we're doing here. So there's going to be a lot of like copying what I have. Okay. So, all right, I've got this num sides. So underneath it, I want to say something like, I'm going to have a new text thing. So it's going to take me a few iterations to get this to the point that I like the way it looks. And even then, I'm not going to have it exactly the way that I want it to look, but I'll give you hints on how you can make it look better. So just watch to the end of the video. That'll make a little more sense. Okay, so area is going to be a new text string. So I'm going to have something like this. So I'm just going to write area equals, and then here is going to be a function of whatever the number of sides is. So something like this. Dot format k plus 3, because remember that's what n is equal to. Okay, and when I run this, oh, sorry, I need to add it here. And then remember to take it away and redraw it at the next scene. Okay. So now what's going to happen, I'm gonna run this and we'll see what's going to happen. All right. It should print it right in the middle of the shape and just say area equals f of whatever the number of sides of the polygon there are. Okay, of course we don't want it there, and we know how to fix that. We're just going to do to edge upper right. Okay, now you guys might be predicting a problem is going to happen. Seems, oh, you know what? I had that. You weren't supposed to see that. Okay. Seems like there's going to be a problem because it looks like these things are probably going to be written on top of each other. Okay, and they are. Okay, well, there's actually a way around this, because what we really want is we want num sides to be on the top, and we want to have the area thing underneath it. And it's actually, there is a function called next to. So I'm going to do next to. And to do this, we're going to put the object, the mathematical object, the Manim object that we want it to be next to, which is num sides. And I want it to be underneath it, so I'm going to write down. You could do left, right, up. It has the same, has the predicted effect. So when we run this, the two things should be on top. There's going to be a problem, should be n equals whatever, and area equals f of n. All right. Okay, well, so this isn't working quite right. There's two problems. The minor problem is the equal signs aren't lined up. The major problem is that this is now going off the edge, and the actual formula is going to be way more than just, you know, a few characters long. When you actually plug in what the formula is for the area of a n-gon, excuse me, I had to cough. The equal sign we'll worry about last. What I want to do now is I want to move this to the left. So now what I can do is I have now moved the area underneath it. I can now shift left. Okay, so now I'm going to do shift left, and this does exactly what you think it should do. It shifts a certain amount to the left. So if you want to know more about this, that is a method that Manim objects have. So Manim, I'm going to go to Manim shift. I think it's going to take us, the best thing is just to look at the various methods that objects can do. So we're going to come down here to shift. Whoops, where is it? Come down here to shift, scroll down there. And now this gives us an example. So we have here shift down, we can shift up, shift down, shift left, and where does it give? Shift by the given vectors. Okay, vectors to shift by, so on and so forth, and multiple vectors are given, they're added together. And so left within Manim is a vector. So I don't know exactly what it is. You can look up the documentation. Okay, so now we're going to shift left, and when you run this code, area is going to be shifted a little bit to the left. Okay, now this is good, but even for somebody like me who is not very aware and cognizant of aesthetics, this just does not look right, and I want to make it look a little bit better. I want these to be aligned better. And so now my idea is to not shift that, but to shift the in. I'm not going to shift the area formula. I'm going to shift the in. And then, because before the equals signs almost lined up perfectly. So I'm going to see what happens when I look at this. Oh. Because, okay, sorry. I had this twice. I didn't need to have that twice, so when I did the shift there, I didn't do anything. So now, shift left. Okay, you get to see me make mistakes as I go here. Okay, now this looks a lot better than what we had so far, except nothing is aligned. It would be okay if like one thing was aligned and the others weren't. Like if the in and the area were aligned, or like the for and the f there were aligned, but nothing is aligned. And maybe you're like, okay, this is fine. Nobody's really going to notice it. Completely understandable. But there are several ways that we can try to fix this. So now I can try to maybe move this. What about if I move this to, if I move the area thing to the left, it's going to move way too far. But what about if I do 0.1 times left? What happens in that case? So I'm just going to move it like 10% of the left vector. I'm going to see if that's going to line up things even better. Okay, because I did need to shift it just a little bit to the left. A whole left shift would be too much. So let's see if something like this would work. Okay, now this lines up almost perfectly. And this actually wasn't the solution that I thought I was going to show you. There is also a way. So I'm gonna show you the solution that I was going to show you. This works completely fine. I'm going to show you the solution that I had originally planned to show you because it shows how to do something else, which is kind of combine LaTeX with this as well. Okay, so I'm gonna comment this out now, and I'm gonna just come up with a new variable called text. Okay, so this is going to be the following. It's going to be math text, so math tech, and I'm just going to give you just an example. This is not actually what we want to have right now, but here's going to be in the dollar signs here. We'll say in is equal to something, and let's just run that so we can see what it's going to look like to now. And let me move it to the upper right. So to edge upper right, and I also just want to do this to make sure that everything is going to run approximately correctly. So I'm going to run this now. Okay. Okay, so the issue is you don't need the dollar signs. I promise I've done this before. Okay, yeah, so that's kind of what we expected. Okay, so now what I want to do, I want to say n equals, okay, and I want to do dot format, and I want to do k plus 3. Okay, so now let's see what happens when I do this. Exhilarating. This is taking a little bit longer than I expected. I am going to pause the video, or the recording. Okay, so I have no idea why it took so long. Okay, so I did this example before, and I couldn't get it to work. It actually took me a minute to get it to work, but now it's working properly. So I don't know what I was doing before. At any rate, that's why I had to pause the recording for a few minutes and figure out what's going on. So anyways, text is equal, so this is going to be very similar to what I had before, math tech, R, and I'm going to say in is equal. Okay, so I'm going to do dot format. This wasn't supposed to work, but it actually does work. So I'm sorry, and then now to edge upper right. Okay, and this doesn't have the area part yet. It's just going to have the in equals. Okay, I'm going to pause the recording. Okay, this is what we get, and again, this is exactly what we want. Okay, now in LaTeX, we can align. So I'm going to do ampersand align, this for the new line, and then say area equals f of that, and then put k plus 3 again. And so now it should say in equals 8, let's say, and underneath it, it should say area equals f of 8. And if I put the ampersand there, it should be aligned along the equal sign. So I'm going to run this again, pause the recording. Okay, and here we go. Okay, and this looks exactly like we want it to, except maybe we don't want to have area written in math format, so maybe we'll just do normal math writing here. Okay, I'm going to run this again. Okay, so basically things worked. When I was making this example before, things didn't work like I expected they did, and now they are working like I expected them to. And before I had to solve the problem, and now I don't. So I don't know why things are working like, or I don't know why things didn't work like I wanted them to before. But I just wanted to point out this is another way to show that we can align the two equal signs like that. The other one with the just shifting it by 0.1 also worked as well. Either one works. Now in the homework assignment, essentially you're going to take this and make two changes. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to try to find so assume that, we'll say radius, and you can figure out, you can research what I mean by radius here. You're going to sort of compute, or assume the radius is 1, and compute, actually put the formula there. Look up the formula to see actually what the formula there is for the area. And then maybe if you want, you don't have to do this, you can compare this with the area of a unit circle, which should just be pi, and then see what happens, as n goes to infinity, it should go to pi, and give it a new title. But basically, you're going to be copying and pasting a lot of stuff here for your homework assignment. Okay, so sorry this last video was kind of bumpy in what I was expecting and not expecting to happen, and happening and not happening, but I hope you have enjoyed it.